What's going on, guys? Counting Games back here again to react to one of my favorite people of all time, Jesse Ventura. This one is called Elizabeth Hasselbeck fighting with Jesse Ventura. So don't know what to expect from this one. Jesse Ventura, one of the best legendary, politicians of all time in America, the governor of Minnesota, and this one is on the Young Turks. The Young Turks is a very left-wing, liberal type news station, so this one should be hilarious. Jesse Ventura, he hates both parties. He hates the Republicans, he hates the Democrats. He thinks that they're, it's a two-party dictatorship, and, he's really against the system. This one should be crazy. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my Patreon as well for more uncensored commentary like this, and let's go.
If Hannity wasn't tough enough, he's going to go take on Elizabeth Hasselbeck. This is clip number one, guys, and they're going to argue more specifically about torture.
What is your mind? I know your mind is pretty made up about waterboarding, correct? You were waterboarded as part of your Navy SEAL training, correct?
Well, it wasn't part of Navy SEAL training. It was part of what they call SEER school, Survival, Escape, Resistance, Evasion. It's a school they required you to go to prior to the combat zone of Vietnam. And yes, we were all waterboarded there, and yes, it is torture.
What do you think about Nancy Pelosi in terms of what she has been claiming with the CIA, lying to?
I think what's worse is this, the fact that it happened. If we hadn't waterboarded to begin with, none of this would be a controversy, would it?
If we hadn't
waterboarded... torture is torture. If you're going to be a country that follows the rule of law, which we are, torture is illegal.
But these were specifically approved.
It's funny because this is a big controversy back in the day, guys, back in when they were capturing Osama bin Laden and stuff like that. For those who can remember that far back, I think it was 2011 they killed Osama bin Laden. But basically, torture basically became acceptable in American culture. Before the movie American Sniper and Zero Dark 30, movies like that, it was amazing. Before that, 99% of Americans disagreed with torture. After those movies, guys, pretty much all Americans, pretty much all of European society agreed with torturing ISIS and stuff like that to gain information. But we all know when you torture people, it doesn't actually gain information. It just makes them say anything to stop you from torturing them. So
techniques with KSM, okay? Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the information we extracted from him before waterboarding was zip. Afterward, he released the information.
Got all of it before waterboarding.
Yes. This was a case that was used 3 times.
The point is this. All right, wait a minute. If waterboarding is okay,
do you want me to put that wait, Nelson?
Wait. If waterboarding's okay, then why don't we let our police do it to suspects so they can learn what they know? Follow that again. If waterboarding's okay, why didn't we waterboard McVeigh and Nichols, the Oklahoma City bombers, to find out if there were more people involved?
What's your answer to that? Why didn't we?
We did. Well, I don't know. We only seem to waterboard Muslims.
That's a tough one. Waterboarding is crazy because, when it comes to ISIS and terrorist groups, Boko Haram, and all these terrorist groups across the world, guys, people don't really understand that those terrorist groups have no ethics when it comes to torture. They set people on fire. They do like barbaric shit that they did back in the Middle Ages. So what Americans and Europeans argue is that the torture that they do is a lot worse than our torture. So it's kind of funny. It's kind of like saying, well, yours is worse than ours, so we're allowed to do it. It's not logically consistent, but it's definitely ethically what people would say not great, you know what I'm saying? But, people would argue that because obviously ISIS kill loads of Americans and soldiers and stuff like that, and British soldiers, so, it's kind of up for debate. Leave in the comments down below what you guys think.
Well, one of the things,
Have we waterboarded anyone else? Name me someone else we've waterboarded.
Well, one of the things that's coming out now is that they were waterboarding them to get a connection between Iraq and Al-Qaeda. And that the reason they waterboarded was to get information about so that they could justify their invasion of Iraq.
What do you think is that?
How does that work into your theory of how great it is?
Look, I'm not saying it's great, okay? I'm not saying, hey, everybody, let's go next door and get waterboarded. I'm concerned right now about Nancy Pelosi, who is supposedly briefed of this thing. She lied.
All right, okay.
She lied.
They want her out now. They want her out now, right? Because she lied? Well, why didn't they ask for Bush and Cheney to go out when they lied about why we went into Iraq?
Senator Clinton, Hillary Clinton was right there with them as because
the
we're
point
getting
is,
Democrats.
nothing's going to happen because they're all involved.
Yeah.
The Dems and Repubs are both involved. That's why President Obama's backing off from it, and they're not going to do it now. It's a good thing I'm not the president. I'm an independent, because I would prosecute the people who did it, I would prosecute the people who ordered it, and they would all go to
Would you then
jail.
prosecute President Obama in the future going backwards when he ordered the killing of the Somali pirates? I mean, you have to think about
No, because the
everything that's
Somali
going on.
viruses, that's apples and oranges.
Do you
You're
think
not
that-
talking
what
about
about-
someone in custody who is supposedly under... Okay, how would we feel? Look how outraged we were when waterboarding was done to our vets in Vietnam.
Amen.
Where do you think
That's
we
right.
learned it
That's
from?
right.
And we created the Hanoi Hilton right in Guantanamo. That's our Hanoi Hilton. People have died there. People are tortured there. I'm ashamed of my country.
People aren't basing, all those extremists are not basing their behaviors on ours. I can guarantee that. They are out
It
to get us
doesn't,
no matter
should
what.
we stoop to their level?
Look, we have-
no.
we-
We should
You
be...
know, like you can argue both points. Like obviously, Jesse Ventura, this is a tough take because you know terrorists are killing people, so you know it's tough one.
above them.
Absolutely.
Torture is wrong.
Torture is wrong, but
And
enhanced interrogation techniques
waterboarding, enhanced
are different.
interrogation is Dick Cheney changing a word. Dick Cheney comes up with a new word to cover his ass.
You believe
Come up with a new word. New question. New
I
question.
said it before. You give me a waterboard 1 hour in Dick Cheney and I'll have him confessing to the Sharon Tate murders.
Baby.
Damn, dude, Jesse Ventura's badass, bro. Badass, dude.
Man, we gotta get Jesse as a co-host on this show. He might be on the program actually in a couple of weeks, which ought to be nothing but fun. I love the questions and the answers he had for.
Yo, I love Jesse Ventura. He did loads of conspiracy theory show. I used to watch that with my dad and my brother all the time when we were younger. And he had Alex Jones on the show. He had a lot of different people, you know, that are, let's say, conservative, politically different on the show. You know, Jesse Ventura is very open to ideas. Like, I like the guy. He's very open to different things.
Silly little Elizabeth Hasselbeck. She said, "Oh no, the enhanced interrogation was approved." He said, "Approved by who?" By the same guys who wanted to do it. So big deal. And then she just made up a fact about how Khalid Sheikh Mohammed didn't give up anything before the waterboarding, but did afterwards. Absolutely made out of a whole cloth. I've never seen that even argued by the Republicans. And he's like, that's not true at all. Then he said, why don't we do it if it's so good? Waterboarding's so good. Why don't we do it to common criminals and to white terrorists like McVeigh and Nichols? And she says, well, that's interesting. Of course. Cute little Elizabeth Hasselbeck's up for any torture. As long as it doesn't involve her ass. Oh, it's, criminals. As long as it's criminals and
It's
terrorists.
true, guys. Leave in the comments down below what you guys think. You know, it's definitely not ethical. You know, it's not ethical in the fact of being logically consistent with your arguments. You know, we're just gonna do it to Muslims and people like that. You know, they should be doing it to white people as well. They should be doing it to everyone. Then, you know, what I'm saying, be consistent with your torture devices, with your advanced interrogation techniques. But they don't want to do that, guys. They just want to do it overseas and in places that isn't in America. You know, America tries to bypass that by doing it to people, and you know, it's up for debate, guys. Because are they extracting information that they need? Probably. Are they extracting information that they might not get? Probably. But are they doing that to innocent people? Probably as well. You know what I'm saying? So pretty crazy. Leave in the comments down below what you guys think. I love you all. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.